welcome to the deep dive. So, you sent over this technical snapshot of ITC stock, yeah, from around May 2025.
That's right.
And we're going to try and unpack what a trader might have been seeing then.
Exactly. Think of it like decoding a weather map for the stock.
Yeah, using the indicators and charts Miss Mancy was looking at.
Yep, a daily chart, candlesticks, the usual technical toolkit.
Okay, so first things first, the price itself. What was the basic picture? Up, down?
Well, it looked like a short-term climb was happening, higher highs, higher lows.
Yeah, high. An uptrend?
And importantly, the price was actually trading above its 20-day and 50-day simple moving averages.
Right, those average price lines. What were the levels?
The 20-day was at 420.97 and the 50-day at 411.71. Being above those,
Yeah.
it usually points towards, bullish momentum.
Like the stock's current speed is faster than its recent average speeds?
Pretty much, yeah. And there was another signal backing that up, too.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
The 10-day super trend indicator. It was sitting lower, down at 408.17. And that also supported the bullish view. It kind of acts like a dynamic floor, trend-wise.
Right, so as long as the price stays above it, the uptrend's considered, well, intact.
Exactly.
So price action looked pretty positive, but what about volume? Were lots of people trading it? Did that confirm the move?
Well, that's where it gets a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
The volume on the day, 12.769 million shares.
Okay.
It was actually below the 200-day average volume, which was closer to 15 million.
Huh. So less participation than usual, even as the price went up.
Yeah. It sort of suggests that maybe the buying pressure wasn't, exceptionally strong. Bit of a caution flag.
Okay, that makes sense. Fewer people enthusiastically pushing it higher. Now, the ADX was mentioned, average directional index.
Sounds technical.
It is a bit, but basically it measures trend strength, not direction, just strength.
Right. And what was it showing here?
It was pretty low, 19.45. Generally anything below 20 or sometimes 25 suggests a weak trend.
So even though the price was going up, the ADX was basically saying, yeah, it's going up, but not very forcefully. The trend itself lacked, strong conviction.
Okay, so a weak uptrend. And there were those plus DI and EDI things too. How do they fit in?
Right. So the plus DI, which measures buying pressure, was at 21.89, and the NETI selling pressure was lower at 15.64. So buyers were technically in control at that moment, but that low ADX reading kind of overshadowed it. It means that buyer dominance might not be very reliable or sustainable. It needs more power behind it.
Got it. So directionally bullish, but weakly so. What about volatility? The ATR was mentioned.
Yeah, the average true range, 7.7125. That just gives a feel for the stock's typical daily price fluctuation, around 7.7 points per day.
And traders use that for?
Mostly for setting stop losses. Figure out how much wiggle room to give a trade based on normal noise. Risk management, basically.
Okay. And the RSI, Relative Strength Index, where was that sitting?
It was at 61.88.
Which means?
That's kind of in the neutral to bullish zone. Importantly, it's not above 70, which often signals overbought.
So it suggests there was still potentially more room for the price to climb before hitting exhaustion levels.
Exactly. It wasn't screaming sell yet based on momentum.
Okay, so pulling this together, upward price, check, but weak trend strength via ADX and kind of volume.
Got it.
So what were the key price levels traders would have been watching? Support and resistance.
Well, those moving averages we mentioned, the 20-day and 50-day, they act as potential support, like floors.
Around 421 and 412-ish?
Yep. And the super trends around 408 was another dynamic support level.
And on the upside, resistance.
The immediate hurdle was the day's high, 431.50. Beyond that, looking at past price action, there seemed to be a potential resistance zone, maybe around 435 to 440.
Okay, so based on all that, the analysis actually gave a short-term trading recommendation.
It did, yeah. The overall short-term outlook leaned bullish, despite the caveats. The suggestion was to potentially buy around the current price, which was 430.25, or maybe on a slight dip towards that 20-day SMA.
And the target for taking profits?
Aiming for that resistance zone we just talked about, 435 to 440, for a quick potential gain.
Makes sense. But crucially, what about managing risk? Stop losses.
Absolutely vital. Several ideas were floated. One was placing a stop just below the 20-day SMA, say around 419.50.
Okay.
Another was below the super trend level, or using that ATR volatility measure, maybe setting a stop around 422.50, giving it about one ATR's worth of room below the entry.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned caveats. The analysis highlighted specific risks, didn't it?
Oh, definitely. The big one was that low ADX. It strongly suggested the uptrend was fragile and could fizzle out or even reverse.
Right, weak trend.
And the below-average volume was the other main concern. Not enough buying fuel could mean the price stalls before hitting those higher targets.
So the final call was buy, but with some serious conditions attached.
Precisely. Buy ITC at 430.25. That was the headline. But with the target and stop-loss levels clearly defined.
And the crucial part was,
Keep a very close eye on volume and the ADX. If they didn't start improving, confirming the trend, that was a warning sign.
right,
And specifically, consider getting out if the price broke down below that 20-day moving average. That would be a clear sign of weakness taking over.
okay. So a nuanced picture. Bullish signals from price and some indicators, but warning signs from volume and trend strength.
Yeah, it really shows how technical analysis is about weighing probabilities, not finding certainties. You get multiple signals, sometimes conflicting.
It really does. It makes you think, doesn't it? How combining these different indicators, even when they aren't all perfectly aligned, gives you a much richer, sort of multidimensional view than just relying on one single thing.
Definitely.
And it also begs the question, okay, we've looked at the technicals here, but what else might a trader or even an investor want to consider, beyond the charts before making a decision on ITC? Definitely food for thought.
Absolutely. There's always a bigger picture.
Well, thanks for breaking that down. A fascinating deep dive into that snapshot.